We're back on the early edge on CBS Sports Network, and I'm joined by Claudia Bellofatto and again by Larry Hartstein. It's time to continue our NFL team betting profiles, and we start today, at least, with the New York Jets. Claudia, I'm going to start with you. I feel like New York Jets fans have to maybe go earmuffs here a little bit because we've got a win total pretty paltry here at 5.5. However, the juice is to the over at -155, the under at +130. Any chance you're taking the under here at plus money, Claudia, or do you like the over?
The plus money is enticing. But honestly, I'm a little bit higher on the Jets than the market is. I think that there's a lot of unknown, but some of that could be positive, right, guys? The ceiling could be higher than we think. You have new management. You have a new head coach. You have a defensive-minded head coach with Aaron Glenn, who I know we'll dive into. You have a new OC coming from the Lions. And Justin Fields, whether or not you think he's an ideal fit for this offense, it's an upgrade. You have Breece Hall, you have Garrett Wilson. They prioritize adding protection in the offseason. There should be high expectations for Armand Membo at right tackle. The defense should be solid. I think you look at last year and how many things went wrong. They still finished with 5 wins. I don't see how they could finish any worse. And unlike last preseason, there's no drama. They can just focus on football. So I'm actually opposite way that the market's looking. I would lean over. Not going to drink the juice, but I do think they get to 6.
Larry, this is interesting because I look at what their schedule makeup is, and it doesn't look too daunting. It's kind of middle of the pack from a strength of schedule standpoint. I think there's some winnable games, but they're not favored in really any game other than maybe 1 or 2. A lot close to the line where they're just very short underdogs. I think I lean to the plus money here. How about you?
Yeah, same way. I think I heard Claudia say Justin Fields is an upgrade over Aaron Rodgers. I guess we'll see. Devontae Adams is gone. DJ Reed, their best cornerback last year, he's gone. Now he's on the Lions. I think Aaron Glenn will be successful. I think it was long overdue that he got this head coaching job. I just don't think they have the roster. They really didn't make a lot of big moves at all. I mean, Josh Reynolds, Brandon Stevens, Andre Sisco. I mean, these are, average players at best. And it seems to me like they're setting up for the future, maybe getting their quarterback next year, and that's when they're really going to spend.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I'll go the plus money there. But listen, it's the NFL. I think Claudia is right. There's some hidden stuff in here where there might be some more upside than people think, and that always happens with certain teams. Okay, let's talk about. I hate to pile on here, but they're plus 850 to have the worst record in the NFL. The other teams that are below them are the Giants, the Browns, and the Saints. Larry, you're not taking that plus 850, are you? I got to think maybe it's the Browns that you think is going to be the worst team from a win total standpoint.
Yeah, I love the Browns for this bet because they have the second toughest schedule after the Giants, and they don't have a quarterback at all. And what they did in the draft, giving up that high pick, showed that they are just all in for next season. So, yeah, to me, the Browns are the play. I think the Jets are going to be competent. They're going to be more disciplined. They're going to play with energy. They're going to be scrappy. They'll get to 4 or 5 wins. So give me the Browns in this pool.
Claudia, your take, based on your previous take, obviously you don't think the Jets are going to have the worst record, but do you have a team of those other 3 or maybe another team that you think is going to have the worst record?
Just not the Jets. I think the Browns probably make the most sense, and I am not high on the Giants, but I think there's a good upside with them, but they are with the Browns and having the 2 toughest schedules in the NFL, so I would lean them. I don't think it's the Jets for everything I said before, but also specifically if you look at how they did in close games, because I do think they'll be slightly better. You look at those games decided by 3 or fewer points. They didn't have 1 win. They went 0-4. They were 2-7 in 1-score games overall. So I think with the slight adjustments, and I'm not saying I'm super high on Justin Fields, but I do think that they should feel better about bringing in a young mobile quarterback who we haven't really seen what the ceiling looks like with him yet, versus a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming back from Egypt off of ayahuasca. That was my angle with the quarterback situation there. As far as this market goes, though, no, I would not choose the Jets. I would definitely look to the Browns. Quarterback situation and all, one of the toughest schedules, lots of questions for them.
Hard to argue with that, especially how you encapsulated the Aaron Rodgers experience last year coming into New York. Let's talk about Aaron Glenn coming into New York. We touched on it a little bit, Claudia, but I think that does factor in to the fact that you kind of lean towards maybe 6 wins, maybe even 7, I don't know, for the New York Jets. How do you think Aaron Glenn is going to impact this team?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I think that he elevates the talent that he has on the roster. And last year with the Lions was a testament to what he's capable of, adjusting quickly, schematically, getting the best out of his players. Everybody knows it because everybody talked about it. Detroit had a league-high 16 defensive players on the injury list in December. And what did they do? They ripped off 15 best, a franchise best record, #1 seed in the NFC, and the defense was a major part of that. I do think the culture is huge here too. You guys talked about that a little bit earlier, and it sounds like he's already made a shift there. It's small details, but it's important aspects like attendance being nearly perfect during OTAs, players being vocal about their respect for him, I should say. And what I loved most was the quotes we're getting from him. He says he wants the team to move in silence. They're going to put their head down. They're going to block out the noise and just win some games. And I think when you look at the process they went through with the 16 candidates in 1 month, the fact that they landed on him speaks a lot to how they view him and what they think he'll bring to the team.
Larry, I got to think you kind of co-sign what Claudia said. So quick take, because I do want to get to some betting numbers as it relates to Justin Fields and Breece Hall. Aaron Glenn's impact here.
Yeah, very quick take. You're not going to see guys passing on tackles and shying away from contact and all the things that started to slip in that lost season with with Aaron Rodgers. So I think you're going to have a much better attitude. I just don't think they made the upgrades they needed to compete this coming season.
Yeah, I do feel like maybe you're right, setting up for a season away, which I'm certainly doesn't make the starters on the team going into this year very happy if they hear stuff like that. But Larry, let's go back to Justin Fields. Let's talk betting for a second here. His touchdown total, passing touchdown total, is 14.5. It's a pretty low number. Surprisingly, the juice is on the under there. So it's -120 versus +100 to the over 14.5 touchdown passes. Larry, your thoughts?
This is too low. He threw for 17 and 15 games with the Bears. He does have Garrett Wilson. They draft a very promising tight end. And I think the main factor is that Tyrod Taylor is your backup, and then you have Adrian Martinez, the UFL MVP. So Justin Fields is going to get a long leash. It's not going to be like Pittsburgh, where after 6 games, they went to Russell Wilson, and he was an upgrade. They are going to give him a chance, a full chance for the whole season. So as long as he stays healthy, he's going to clear this pretty easily.
Claudia, the part I loved about that the most is the job security. Like who's behind Justin Fields? No offense against Tyrod Taylor, but like these guys, Taylor and Martinez, it's going to be a while before anyone decides to put them in the game. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Availability is going to be the biggest issue for him if he gets hurt. But other than that, there's real no competition. But Larry was completely right. He's yet to play 17 games, and he's already cashed in 2 of his 4 seasons. And you look at last year, I'm not going to glamorize his numbers, but his efficiency did increase. He was more accurate. He had less turnovers. I think a solid O-line is going to buy him some time in the pocket. We know what he can do with his legs. So, yeah, I agree. I think this number is way too low, and I'm confused really on the pricing of it. So I would take advantage of it for sure.
Let's go to another number in the running game. We haven't really touched on Breece Hall yet. Claudia, his rushing yards number is 900.5, -110 each way. Do we go to the under or the over?
You got to listen to the head coach. And Aaron Glenn said he wants to get 3 running backs involved as much as possible with Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. And from a pure math perspective, that's going to make you hesitant. You look at the numbers from last year. Breece Hall actually graded as the lowest graded running back of the 3. His explosiveness was down. Yards per carry, lowest of his career, had 6 fumbles. And on top of that all, he was too busy looking to catch the ball. He ran 24 routes a game, the most of any running back. And you would think he'd be less of a pass catcher because you have Fields in there. He's going to scramble versus the checkdowns. But Tanner Engstrand coming from the Lions, he targeted his running backs at the 4th highest rate last season. So we could see him still involved in the passing game. You throw in the other 2 running backs. I'd lean away and I'd lean under.
Yeah, Larry, I think I'm leaning on the under as well. What's your take?
No, I'm going the other way just because there were 2 factors last year. They were so pass happy, and they also were the slowest team in football. Aaron Rodgers didn't snap the ball until there was no time on the clock. So you're going to get more plays, and you have Scott Turner, the passing game coordinator, coming out and saying, we're going to be physical, we're going to run the ball, and then we're going to look to take some downfield shots. So to me, this is the year that Breece Hall does get to 1,000 yards.
He's certainly going to be looking at a lot of stacked boxes, though. So that's something to factor in there as well. I'm going to still lean with Claudia there on the under. Larry, Claudia, really good stuff on the New York